My friends, I want to talk to you from the heart today. I know many of you feel shy, nervous, or even afraid when it comes to learning English. Some of you may have tried before and failed, some of you may think you are too old, and some of you might believe that English is only for smart people or people who live in big cities. But let me tell you something. English is not just a language, it is a key. A key that can open doors to opportunities you never imagined. And every single one of you already has the ability to hold that key. Think about this. When you were a child, you learned your own mother tongue without fear, without hesitation. You didn't care if you made mistakes. You didn't care if your words sounded funny. You just kept speaking until it became natural. Why should English be any different? The only thing stopping you is not your tongue, not your memory, not your age. It's your fear. Once you remove that fear, the journey becomes easier than you think. Don't believe the lie that you must be perfect to start. Perfection is not the beginning, it is the result. Start small, start messy. Start with one word, then two words, then a sentence. Watch movies, listen to songs, talk to yourself in the mirror. Every single day take one step. And when you take that step daily, it doesn't matter how slow you go, you are still moving forward. You see, English is not about grammar books stacked on your table. It's about connection. It's about giving you the confidence to share your ideas with the world. You never know, the world may be waiting to hear your voice, your story, your dreams. But without English, those dreams might stay locked inside you. Don't let that happen. I know there will be people who laugh at you when you make mistakes. Let them laugh, because the same people who laugh at you today will clap for you tomorrow. Every mistake you make is proof that you are learning, proof that you are growing, proof that you are one step closer to your goal. Remember, success doesn't come to those who are the smartest. It comes to those who are the bravest. The ones who dare to begin, the ones who keep going when it gets hard, the ones who refuse to quit no matter how many times they fail. Be that person. So from today, promise yourself this: I will not be afraid of English. I will practice every day. I will learn with courage, not with fear. I will not stop until I can stand tall and speak with confidence. Your future is waiting. The opportunities are waiting. The world is waiting. And the only thing standing between you and that world is your decision. So take that decision now and start, because once you start, nothing can stop you. When it comes to learning English, the very first step is always the hardest. Not because the words are too difficult, not because grammar is impossible, but because of the fear that lives inside us. Fear is the greatest wall between you and your dream of speaking English. Fear tells you, what if I make a mistake? Fear whispers, what if people laugh at me? Fear shouts, what if I am not good enough? And so, many people never even begin. They stand at the starting line but never take the first step. But let me tell you, nothing is more dangerous to your success than waiting for the perfect moment. If you wait to be perfect before you start, you will never start at all. Think about it. Did you wait to be perfect before you learned to ride a bicycle? No. You got on, you fell, you got hurt, you stood up again, and slowly you learned to balance. Did you wait to be perfect before learning to walk as a child? No. You stumbled, you crawled, you fell hundreds of times, but you kept going until walking became natural. Then why do you wait for perfection when it comes to English? Perfection is not the beginning, it is the reward at the end of the journey. The first step does not need to be perfect, it only needs to be taken. Fear creates an illusion that everyone is watching you, waiting for you to make a mistake. But in reality, most people are too busy with their own lives to care. And even if some do notice, what difference does it make? The truth is, the people who succeed in life are not the ones who never make mistakes. They are the ones who dare to make mistakes and learn from them. Every mistake is a teacher, and every attempt makes you stronger. Imagine someone who never opens their mouth out of fear. How will they ever improve? Silence does not lead to confidence. Silence only leads to regret. The moment you speak your first broken sentence in English, you have already won a battle against fear. And that victory is bigger than any grammar rule, bigger than any vocabulary list. That first brave attempt is proof that you are ready to grow. Think of English as a door. Fear locks it. Courage unlocks it. All you need is the courage to turn the key and push it open, even if your voice shakes, even if your words are not smooth. The door doesn't care how you open it, it only cares that you dare to push. You see, fear is not just about English, it is about how we see ourselves. We believe we are not good enough or smart enough to learn something new. But that is a lie we tell ourselves. Your brain is not limited. Your ability to learn is not finished. No matter your age, no matter your background, you can begin. All it takes is the decision to try. One word spoken with courage is more powerful than 100 words kept silent in fear. Many people say, I will start speaking English when I feel confident. But confidence does not come before action. Confidence is the result of action. You don't wait to feel brave before jumping into the water. You jump, and then you realize you can swim. The same is true for English. You don't wait for confidence. You create it by speaking, by trying, by stepping into the uncomfortable zone where growth happens. Even if your first sentence is full of mistakes, it is still more valuable than 100 perfect sentences you never dared to speak, because every spoken word is a seed, and every seed will grow into fluency with time. Fear kills the seed before it even touches the soil, but courage plants it, waters it, and gives it a chance to grow. So I ask you, what is stronger, your fear of failing or your desire to succeed? Every time you choose fear, you remain where you are. Every time you choose courage, you move closer to your goal. The difference between someone who speaks English fluently and someone who only dreams of it is not intelligence, not talent, not luck. It is simply the decision to start without fear. When you take that first step, something magical happens. You realize it wasn't as scary as you thought. You realize the world doesn't end when you mispronounce a word. You realize people actually respect you for trying, and slowly, step by step, your fear loses its power over you. Because fear is only strong when you obey it. The moment you disobey fear, it begins to shrink. This is why starting is everything. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you buy a new book or join a new class. Start today. Start now. Start with what you have. Your first step does not need to be big. It only needs to be brave. Speak one word. Try one sentence. Whisper it to yourself. Write it down. Say it to a friend. Each time you do, you are breaking the chains of fear, and you are setting yourself free. When you think about how children learn their first language, it becomes clear that the process is not about memorizing grammar rules, writing long essays, or taking endless tests. A child learns to speak simply by listening, repeating, and experimenting without any fear of being wrong. They don't care if their pronunciation is unclear or if their sentences are broken. They just speak, and over time, those little sounds grow into fluent language. That is the magic of a child's mindset, and if you want to learn English quickly and confidently, you must learn to think like a child. The biggest mistake most adults make is treating language learning like solving a math problem. They want every sentence to be correct before they even open their mouths. They spend too much time analyzing and worrying and too little time actually speaking. But children don't do that. A child doesn't stop to think, is my grammar correct? Am I using the right tense? They just express themselves. And because they are not paralyzed by fear or perfectionism, they learn faster than anyone else. Imagine what would happen if you gave yourself that same freedom to speak without judgment, to practice without shame, to enjoy the process instead of fearing it. Think about the joy children have when they learn new words. They repeat them over and over, sometimes even in the wrong context, but they are proud because they discovered something new. As adults, we lose that excitement. We become embarrassed when we make mistakes, and we hide our progress instead of celebrating it. But what if you could bring back that same childlike curiosity? What if instead of seeing mistakes as failures, you saw them as proof that you are learning? Every word you mispronounce, every sentence you get wrong, is one step closer to fluency. A child never stops trying just because they fell once. They keep going, and that persistence is exactly what makes them successful learners. When a child learns to speak, they don't do it alone. They listen to their parents, their friends, their teachers, and they imitate the sounds they hear. You can do the same with English. Surround yourself with the language as much as possible. Watch movies, listen to music, repeat phrases, imitate accents. Don't worry if it feels unnatural at first. Remember, even your first words as a baby sounded strange to others, but with practice they became natural. The same will happen with English. Your brain is like a sponge, and when you expose it to the rhythm and sounds of the language, it begins to absorb and adapt automatically. Children also have a special quality. They are not afraid to ask questions. They ask again and again until they understand. Adults, on the other hand, feel ashamed when they don't know something. They stay quiet and pretend, even when they are confused. But pretending never leads to progress. To learn like a child, you must allow yourself to be curious again. Ask questions, repeat lessons, say, "I don't understand" with courage. There is no shame in not knowing. The only shame is in refusing to learn. Another powerful lesson from children is their ability to enjoy the process. For them, learning is not a burden, it is play. They laugh when they make funny mistakes, they sing songs, they turn words into games. That joy makes learning effortless. If you can bring even a little of that playfulness into your English learning, you will notice a huge difference. Instead of stressing over every mistake, laugh at it, enjoy it, and move on. When learning becomes fun, you stop counting the hours, and before you know it, progress comes naturally. Children also live in the present moment. They don't worry about how many months it will take to be fluent or how people will judge them years later. They just focus on today, on learning one word, one sentence, one idea. As adults, we often trap ourselves by thinking too far ahead. We want results overnight, and when they don't come, we feel discouraged. But if you focus only on today, on learning a little more than you knew yesterday, you will realize that fluency is not a sudden achievement. It is a gradual gift that grows day by day. Think like a child, and you will free yourself from the heavy chains of fear, overthinking, and pressure. Children don't worry about their accent. They just use the words they know to express themselves. They don't criticize themselves after every attempt. They keep trying until it works. And most importantly, they never give up after one mistake. If you can adopt even half of this mindset, you will notice how much easier and more enjoyable English learning becomes. So remind yourself every day, it's okay to sound funny, it's okay to be wrong, it's okay to learn slowly. That is exactly how you once learned your mother tongue. And that is exactly how you will learn English too. Every child started with broken words and now they speak fluently. You too can start with broken English today, and with persistence, one day you will speak with confidence. When it comes to learning English, many people think they need to study for hours every single day, buried in heavy books, memorizing endless lists of grammar rules and vocabulary. And when they cannot give so much time, they feel hopeless, thinking they will never be able to learn. But the truth is, language is not learned in one giant leap. It is built step by step through small, consistent actions. Just like drops of water filling a jar, your daily practice, no matter how small, adds up over time until one day you realize that jar is full. That is why daily practice is more important than long, exhausting sessions once in a while. Think about exercise. If someone goes to the gym for 10 hours in one day and then does nothing for a month, their body will not grow strong. But if they exercise for just 30 minutes every day, their body will slowly transform. The same rule applies to English. 10 minutes of practice daily is more powerful than 10 hours of study once in a while. Consistency creates habits, and habits create fluency. Daily practice does not mean you need to sit at a desk with a textbook. In fact, the most effective practice is often simple and enjoyable. Speak to yourself in English when you wake up in the morning. Describe what you are doing while making tea or getting ready for work. I am washing my hands. I am wearing my shirt. I am leaving the house. These little sentences may seem silly, but they are powerful because they make English part of your everyday life. And when English becomes part of your daily routine, it stops feeling like a subject you study and starts becoming a language you live. Another simple way to practice daily is to set small, realistic goals. For example, you can learn 5 new words every day. Write them down, say them aloud, use them in sentences. Don't worry if you forget some. You will remember them after repeating many times. Remember, even one new word per day means 365 words in a year, and that alone can transform your speaking ability. Progress is not about speed, it is about consistency. Listening is also a powerful daily practice. You don't need to understand every word. Children learn their language by listening for months before they ever speak. Do the same. Listen to English songs, podcasts, or short videos every day. Even if you understand only a few words, your brain is working silently in the background, picking up sounds, rhythms, and structures. Over time, those sounds will become familiar, and you will notice that words start to make sense naturally. Reading is another easy way to bring English into your daily routine. You don't need to read big novels or complicated articles. Start with short stories, simple news, or even the subtitles of a movie. Reading a few lines daily improves your vocabulary and teaches you how sentences are built. And the more you see English in written form, the more natural it will feel when you use it in speech. One of the most effective forms of practice is speaking, even if you are speaking to yourself. Many people wait for a partner, a teacher, or a perfect situation to practice speaking, but you don't have to wait. You can be your own partner. Stand in front of a mirror, talk to yourself about your day, repeat dialogues from movies, or answer imaginary questions. It may feel strange at first, but remember, children often talk to themselves when they learn, and it helps them grow. Speaking out loud every day, even in private, strengthens your confidence and prepares you for real conversations. Technology has made daily practice easier than ever. You have a mobile phone in your hand, which is a free classroom if you use it wisely. There are countless apps for vocabulary, listening, and speaking practice. YouTube videos can teach you pronunciation. Online communities can connect you with people around the world who are also learning. But the key is not how many resources you have. It is how consistently you use them. Even 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference if you use them every single day. The secret to daily practice is to keep it simple, keep it short, and keep it enjoyable. If you make your practice heavy and stressful, you will soon quit. But if you make it light and fun, you will continue without pressure. Remember, learning English is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And in a marathon, it is not the fastest runner who wins, it is the one who keeps going without stopping. Think about how habits shape your life. If you drink tea every morning, it becomes automatic. You don't even think about it, your body expects it. In the same way, if you practice English daily, even in small ways, your brain will begin to expect it, and it will become natural. You won't need to force yourself, because it will become part of who you are. And once something becomes a habit, it becomes effortless. So, don't wait for a big moment. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start small today, and repeat tomorrow, and the day after that. Daily practice, even if it is just 5 minutes, will take you further than years of waiting for the perfect plan. So many learners get stuck because they see English only as a subject, as if it were just another school exam where marks depend on grammar rules and vocabulary lists. They focus so much on correctness that they forget the real purpose of language: connection. Language was never meant to be a cage of rules. It was created as a bridge, a way for human beings to share thoughts, emotions, and ideas. If you see English only as grammar, you will always feel pressure. But if you see it as connection, you will feel freedom. Think about the first time you spoke your mother tongue as a child. You did not worry about tenses, punctuation, or sentence structure. You simply wanted to tell your mother you were hungry or wanted to play. Your words were broken, but your message was clear. That is connection, and that is all English requires of you too, to express what is in your heart, even if it is not perfect. Communication is not about flawless grammar, it is about making others understand you. Many people avoid speaking because they are afraid of making grammar mistakes. But ask yourself honestly, when someone speaks to you in broken English, do you laugh at them or do you try to understand? Most people respect the effort, and they focus on the meaning, not the grammar. In the same way, when you speak, others will care more about your message than about your mistakes. People want to hear your story, your ideas, your experiences. They are not sitting with a red pen to mark your grammar errors. English is powerful because it connects you to the world. It allows you to talk to people from different countries, to explore cultures you have never experienced, to learn from books, videos, and ideas that are not available in your local language. Imagine meeting someone from across the world and being able to share your thoughts, your dreams, your emotions. That is the true gift of English. If you keep thinking of it as only grammar, you will miss the beauty of this connection. Think about music. When you listen to a song in English, you may not understand every word, but you still feel the emotion, the rhythm, the tone, the energy. It connects with you. That is proof that language is more than rules. It is about feelings. When you speak, people will remember how you made them feel more than whether your grammar was perfect. A warm smile, a confident tone, a genuine expression, these matter more than a textbook perfect sentence. When you change your perspective and see English as connection, learning becomes lighter. Instead of asking, "Is this correct?" you begin to ask, "Am I being understood?" And the moment you are understood, you have succeeded. Over time, your grammar will improve naturally, but even before that, you can build relationships, share knowledge, and inspire others with the English you already have. Consider how children communicate when they first meet each other. They don't sit down to check each other's grammar. They just find a way to play, to laugh, to share. You need to adopt the same mindset. Stop judging yourself with the eyes of a strict teacher and start seeing yourself as a human being reaching out to other human beings. Every time you speak English, you are building a bridge. Sometimes the bridge may look a little rough, but as long as people can cross it, it has done its job. Another important thing to remember is that connection through English can open doors to opportunities that grammar alone never will. A job interview, a conversation with a new friend, a chance to travel, or an opportunity to share your ideas online. All these require courage to connect, not just perfect grammar knowledge. Employers, teachers, and friends are not searching for walking grammar books. They are searching for people who can communicate, cooperate, and connect. If you can express yourself clearly and confidently, you already have an advantage. There are countless examples of people who speak English imperfectly but have changed lives through their words. Their grammar is not flawless, their pronunciation is not polished, yet they move hearts and inspire people because their message is powerful. That is the true purpose of English. Not to impress others with technical rules, but to reach others with human connection. When you sit to practice English, remind yourself that grammar is only a tool, not the final destination. Use it to improve, but don't let it control you. If you wait until your grammar is perfect, you will never speak. If you speak now, your grammar will improve naturally with experience. Think of it like driving a car. You don't study the entire rule book before you sit behind the wheel. You start driving, you make small mistakes, and you learn the rules along the way. The same is true for English. Start using it, and the rules will follow. The beauty of English lies in the fact that it connects millions of people around the world. Someone in Asia can speak to someone in Europe. Someone in Africa can connect with someone in America, all because of this shared language. And you are part of this global family the moment you decide to use your English to connect, no matter how simple your sentences are. So, don't lock yourself in the prison of grammar. Open the door to connection. Every word you speak, every attempt you make, every conversation you join, it all brings you closer to the world and brings the world closer to you. One of the greatest reasons people hold themselves back from learning English is the fear of making mistakes. They stay silent in classrooms, avoid conversations, and never raise their voices because they are terrified someone will correct them or laugh at them. But here is the truth. Mistakes are not your enemies. They are your teachers. Every mistake you make is a sign that you are trying, a sign that you are moving forward, a sign that you are one step closer to fluency. If you never make mistakes, it means you are not learning at all. Think about how you learned to walk. You didn't take your first step and run perfectly across the room. You stumbled, you fell, you hit the ground again and again. But every fall was progress. Every mistake your legs made was teaching your body how to balance. Without falling, you would never have learned to walk. The same is true for English. Without speaking wrong sentences, without mispronouncing words, without making grammar errors, you will never learn to speak confidently. Mistakes are not proof of weakness, they are proof of courage, proof that you are daring to practice instead of hiding. The fear of mistakes often comes from how we were trained in school. Many of us grew up in classrooms where every mistake was punished with red marks or harsh words. We were made to believe that mistakes are failures, but in real life, mistakes are the foundation of learning. Think about scientists. They fail thousands of times before they make a discovery. Think about inventors. They face rejection and error after error before they create something successful. Their mistakes don't destroy them, they build them. Why should learning English be any different? When you speak English and someone corrects you, don't feel embarrassed, feel grateful. That correction is a free lesson. It is feedback that shows you the exact area you need to improve. Every time you get corrected, you grow. Every time you notice a mistake, you take one more step toward fluency. Silence keeps you stuck, but mistakes push you forward. There is another important truth. People respect effort more than perfection. When you speak English, even with mistakes, most listeners will admire your courage. They know it takes effort to learn a new language, and they appreciate that you are trying. Imagine two people. One stays silent because they don't want to be wrong. The other speaks with broken English but manages to express their heart. Who do you think leaves a stronger impression? Always the second one, because connection, courage, and effort are far more powerful than flawless grammar. Sometimes people will laugh at your mistakes. Yes, that happens. But think about it. Are they laughing because you are weak or because they cannot imagine themselves being as brave as you? Often, those who laugh are the ones who never tried. They stay safe in their comfort zone while you are out there, practicing, growing, and moving forward. Their laughter does not reduce your value, it exposes their own insecurity. Remember this, the people who laugh at you today may be the same people who will clap for you tomorrow when you succeed. Mistakes also have another hidden power. They make your journey memorable. Years later, you will look back at the funny errors you made and smile. You will remember how you once said a word the wrong way or mixed up a sentence, and it will remind you of how far you have come. Those mistakes are part of your story, and they make your progress even more meaningful. Without them, your success would not feel as sweet. Learning English is not about avoiding mistakes, it is about using mistakes. Every time you say something wrong, repeat it the right way and lock it in your memory. Every time you forget a word, look it up, write it down, and use it again until it sticks. Every mistake becomes a stepping stone if you stand on it instead of stumbling over it. Imagine a staircase. Each mistake is one step. If you climb them, you rise. If you avoid them, you remain on the ground floor forever. Think about the people who already speak English fluently. Do you believe they never made mistakes? Of course they did. The difference is that they made so many mistakes, so many attempts, that eventually those mistakes built their fluency. They were willing to look foolish for a while in order to become confident later. If you want fluency, you must go through the same process. You must be willing to be imperfect now in order to be powerful later. So instead of running from mistakes, welcome them. Smile when you make one because it means you are learning. Celebrate it because it means you had the courage to try. And most importantly, don't stop because of it. Every mistake you make is a brick in the foundation of your success. The more bricks you lay, the stronger your English will stand. When it comes to learning English, many people believe that only the smartest succeed. The ones with sharp memory, the ones who understand grammar quickly, the ones who seem naturally gifted with languages. But that is not true. The people who succeed are not always the smartest, but the bravest. Intelligence may help you understand rules, but courage is what pushes you to speak in front of others. Memory may help you learn vocabulary, but bravery is what gives you the strength to use those words, even when you fear being judged. Fluency is not built by intelligence alone. It is built by courage, persistence, and the decision to keep going, no matter how hard it feels. Think of all the times you wanted to speak English but stayed silent because you felt nervous. You had the words in your mind, but fear locked them inside. In those moments, the problem was not lack of knowledge, it was lack of bravery. Knowledge without courage is like a bird with wings that refuses to fly. You already have the potential inside you, but it will remain hidden unless you are brave enough to use it. Bravery means daring to speak even when your sentences are broken. It means raising your hand in class when your heart is beating fast. It means talking to a stranger in English even when you are unsure of the words. Bravery does not mean you are not afraid. It means you choose to act despite the fear. Every time you act with courage, the fear loses its power and you grow stronger. There are countless people in the world who know English rules better than you, who have studied grammar for years, who can write perfectly on paper, but they still cannot speak fluently. Why? Because they are waiting to feel ready. They are waiting for a day when they will know everything before they open their mouth. But that day never comes. Bravery is what separates those who only study English from those who actually use it. You do not need to be the smartest in the room, you only need to be the one brave enough to try. Look at successful people in any field. Many of them were not the top students in school. They were not born geniuses. What they had was courage. The courage to fail, the courage to stand up again, the courage to keep moving forward when others gave up. It is the same with English. You don't need to have perfect memory or high marks in grammar exams. What you need is the bravery to practice, to speak, to put yourself in situations that challenge you. Bravery is also about patience. Smart people often quit because they expect quick results. When progress is slow, they give up. But brave people continue, even when results take time. They understand that learning a language is not about speed, but persistence. It doesn't matter if you learn slower than others. What matters is that you don't stop. A brave heart will always reach the finish line, while a fearful heart will remain stuck at the start. Sometimes bravery means ignoring the negative voices around you. People might say, your English is bad, or you will never be fluent. If you listen to them, you will shrink. But if you are brave, you will keep going despite their words. You will understand that their doubts are not your truth. Your courage is stronger than their criticism. Remember, people will always have opinions, but only you can decide whether to let their opinions control your journey. Bravery also means creating opportunities instead of waiting for them. A smart person may wait until they are invited to speak, but a brave person speaks even without invitation. A smart person may wait until they have the perfect environment, but a brave person makes use of whatever environment they have. If you are brave, you don't wait for chances. You create them. You talk to yourself. You join conversations, you ask questions, you practice with friends. You take every chance you get to use English, and slowly you grow confident. Think about the difference between knowledge and action. Knowledge tells you what to do, but action is what changes your life. Bravery is the bridge between the two. You may know hundreds of English words, but unless you are brave enough to speak them, that knowledge is wasted. You may understand grammar perfectly, but unless you are brave enough to use it in conversation, it stays locked in your mind. Bravery is the key that unlocks your knowledge and turns it into skill. Even if you are not the smartest, you can win by being the bravest. Life has always rewarded those who dare to take risks, those who step out of their comfort zones, those who do what others are afraid to do. And English is no different. It does not require you to be a genius. It requires you to be bold, bold enough to speak, bold enough to fail, bold enough to rise again. So, if you ever feel that you are not smart enough, not talented enough, or not quick enough, remind yourself that none of that matters as much as bravery. The brave learner will always move further than the fearful genius, because courage turns small steps into big progress, while fear keeps even the smartest minds standing still. My friends, you now know the truth. Learning English is not about being perfect, it is about being brave enough to begin. It is about thinking like a child, curious and fearless. It is about practicing every single day in small steps that build into big victories. It is about seeing English as a bridge of connection, not a prison of grammar. It is about turning every mistake into your teacher, every failure into your fuel, and above all, it is about courage, the courage to keep going, to keep trying, to keep speaking, even when fear tries to silence you. So from this moment, make a promise to yourself. Promise that you will not wait for tomorrow, you will not wait for perfection, you will not wait for someone else to push you. Promise that you will start now with the English you already have, with the courage you already carry, with the heart that refuses to give up. Remember this, the world is not waiting for your perfect English. The world is waiting for your voice, your ideas, your dreams. Do not keep them hidden. Speak them, share them, live them. Because your journey to English fluency is not just about language, it is about unlocking the power within you to rise, to connect, and to shine. Stand tall, speak with courage, and let your voice be heard. The world is ready for you.